Hello, everybody. Hello. Things are getting too long. Um, Off topic. Hello. Hello. We'll give it a minute for people to come on in and be part of the conversation. Happy Monday. I hope you're all having a good Monday and things are not too crazy where you are. Give it another minute and let some people come along and be with us. Oh, hi. Hi. Welcome. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is take a deep breath. Just take a minute to take a deep breath because if you're like me, you know that there is some stuff going on in the Senate today, and it is a difficult, it can be very frustrating what's going on. And there's a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety going on around uh, the election. And we're in those last, thank the Lord, we're in the last few days because I don't know about you, but I remember the minute after the inauguration, Trump launched his reelection campaign. So we have been living in campaign for, 8 years. It seems like we have been living in campaign for like 8 years, and now with COVID, and so everything is just exacerbated. And it's on the one hand, we are having this feeling like we're getting desensitized to it. And on the other hand, because it's just being like over and over and over, and we're just being desensitized to it. I'm always afraid if I put do not disturb on my phone, it'll like make me not be able to be live with you. So on the one hand, we're being desensitized to, okay, great, here's another political ad, here's another whatever. On the other hand, there's part of it that's like a raw nerve for a lot of people. And so if you're feeling that way, and especially I know a whole lot of people are feeling that way, I want you to just breathe. I want you to just breathe. For me, I will share, try to be fully transparent. This whole Supreme Court thing has me really upset because I am a woman who exercised the right to choose. And I can tell the story, and I'm not shy about telling the story. I can tell the story here, and it's in my blog if you ever want to read the whole story. But I have two boys. They're amazing. They're 19 and 22, and we got pregnant about 15 years ago, and I had a really terrible labor and delivery experience with my first son, almost died. Had a really terrible labor and delivery experience with my second son, didn't almost die because they knew, that they could see all the warning signs. But at the end of that experience, the doctor said to me, you really should not have any more children. I didn't have any trouble getting pregnant, which was a blessing, but we definitely had trouble getting the babies out. And when your doctor looks at you dead in the face and says, another baby will kill you, I was like, oh, good to know. So it was never my intention. It was always my hope to have a third baby. We had always talked about having a third baby. It was not my intention to, but after that experience of having my boys, and they were both healthy and happy, and everything, everyone recovered. But after that experience, we really had taken that off the table. So when a third baby came along, we really sat down and talked about it and said, we're just not going to do it. It's not worth the risk of leaving my husband to be a single parent with two boys. And I really felt like this is just my personal views, I really felt like my responsibility was to the boys that were here, the boys that I had already worked so hard to give birth to, and that they were here, and that my responsibility was to them. And so, and that was, and I will not ever tell someone else what they need to do. But I'm very grateful for my ability to access the services that I needed, both for medical and for emotional, information, to be able to make the decisions and do and to make a difficult choice. And And I carried the guilt with that of that for a long time. Not that I have, killed my child. That was not ever part of my equation. But for me, it was the sadness of never getting to know who he or she was going to be, not having them add to our family, just sadness. I think guilt is not the right word, but just sadness. And I grieved that, and I didn't let myself grieve for a long time. I did not grieve. I just we you know what we do? We push it down, we push it down, we push it down. And all things work together. Truly, all things work together, even the stuff that's really hard for us. And so years go by, and I've pushed it down and pushed it down. And so all of a sudden comes along the time of my spiritual awakening, and in some ways spiritual unraveling, to bring me to this point. And I had to deal with that grief and that sadness. And so I met my son. And he literally floated up out of my body and floated in front of me on the dashboard of my car, and I knew that it was a boy. And through the time, from that day to go forward, we started to cultivate this relationship, and we started to have, I had the opportunity to say to him the things that I was never able to say, that I love you, we wanted you, it wasn't that we didn't want you, all of the things that we wanted to say. And his name is Matthew. And again, you can read this whole story, you can read on my blog. But Matthew has become one of my guides, and he was very clear to me that he was not meant to be here physically as my son, that he was meant to be one of my guides. And he loves his big brothers, and he loves that his brothers are here in the house because of the virus. They are both still living at home. My younger one is home doing college in the kitchen, and the older one has graduated college, and he is working and saving money to go get his own place, and launched on his first adult job and all of that. So it has been and Matthew loves messing with them. He turns on their electronics and turns on and off their lights in their room, and my younger son will come out and be like, I turned this light off and now it's on again. I know I turned this light off and now it's on again. And he just laughs because, like, he's exasperated, but he laughs because he knows it's Matthew. And so we have had the opportunity to cultivate this relationship. And when I'm working mediumistically, when there is a child in spirit will usually come forward with an adult, because children cannot give me enough information to verify necessarily who they are to the person who may be sitting across from me. But when the child doesn't come through with an adult, the child will come through with Matthew. Matthew will bring the kids in. And it's truly an amazing, fascinating experience to see how this all, starts to work as Matthew has, been a guide to me and continues to be a guide to me on the other side. And so all things work together for good. And so I have the benefit of having this little boy in my life. And it's so interesting to me, when pre-COVID, people would come into my house and they'd be like, who's that spirit of a little boy? Like, who's that little boy running around? Like, I can see or feel a little boy that's, and it's just delightful to know that he's here and that we can have this relationship. And so I want to say to you, so for me, this whole Amy Coney Barrett thing is so incredibly upsetting, and Trump signing this, pact with other nations, horrible dictatorial nations that are signing this pact to pledge no abortions under any circumstances. We will not be a country that has abortion. And to sign the United States into this pact where that is not the law of our country is just absolutely horrifying to me. And so I know for a lot of us, myself included, thank you, there is, um, there's a lot of anxiety about what is going to come to us after November 3rd. And I don't have an answer. And people ask me all the time, and I don't have an answer because there are too many moving parts. What I can tell you that I see is that it is a very difficult time for the people of this country, which you don't have to be psychic to see that. It's going to take a while, no matter who wins. And obviously, I have my preferences. But no matter who wins, it's going to take a while for things to normalize. It's going to take a while for things to settle. If Trump wins, there's going to be riots, there's going to be protests, there's going to be marches. If Biden wins, there's going to be riots, there's going to be protests, there's going to be marches. So, whatever it is, it almost doesn't matter as far as what's going to happen. Now, in the aftermath of a Biden win, I personally feel more secure about the direction the country's going to go in, and I feel more secure about the direction of how it's going to impact me and my family and our values and the planet that we are inheriting and entrusting to our children. Um, and our state, as the mother of two boys that are, of military age, should it be necessary, that scares the crap out of me. Um, but at the same time, it, if Trump wins, it's going to be another very difficult 4 years. And I'm not trying to say who you should vote for. Obviously, if you follow me anywhere but here, my political preferences. Um, but even if Trump wins, I continue to come back to all things work together for good. All things work together for good. And this has been a tremendous wake up call for our nation this last 4 years, and even just this last year with Black Lives Matter and the marches and the protests and the murder of George Floyd and the Proud Boys and the virus and just all of it. The way this administration has just completely turned their back on this pandemic to say we have no intention of fighting it or stopping it. We're just going to wait for it to peter itself out. And when a vaccine becomes available, we're going to, vaccinate people. They really just don't care about the people. And I'm sorry, I know I'm completely going off on a political thing. But what I want to say is no matter what happens, no matter who wins, first of all, vote. Okay, vote. Make sure you vote. Make sure your voice is heard, first of all. And second of all, allow yourself, whichever side of the fence you're on, allow yourself to grieve whatever you need to grieve because there are going to be people who are thrilled and there are going to be people who are crushed no matter what happens because our nation has never been, this nation, the United States, has never been in such a state of division since the Civil War. And whatever happens, allow yourself to grieve and to process your feelings and your emotions how you need to do that. Go out, take a walk, breathe, ground yourself, read a good book, watch a good movie. My sister's been binging West Wing because it helps her stay calm and think of a better, a better world in her, it makes her happy. Um, but in the end, after the inauguration, after all of this, and the dust settles, because it will, and there will be hard days, no matter which party wins, it will be challenging. But from that, I want you to remember that truly all things do work together for good. There are stories of people who have gratefully survived cancer diagnoses that will tell you they were the best, it was the best thing that ever happened to them because it woke them up to their life. And that's really where we are right now is we have been woken up to our life. We have been woken up that we can't just sit idly by on the sidelines of history, and we can't just sit idly by on the sidelines of our life. Even with a pandemic, I was talking with a girlfriend earlier today, and she was saying how she has been finding creative ways to connect with people outside, socially distant, places that they could go and meet and visit and chat and be face to face and be sociable and be out of the apartment and out of the house and be together in a safe way. And so I want to assure you that all things, even the hard, frustrating, scary things, all things work together for good. And that even in times of immense strife and challenge to society, the hope is always that there will be a better way and a better day. Even after World War II, there were so many people who are still fighting to remind people of the atrocities of that time in our history, to ensure a better way and ensure a better day. So we are in a very difficult time in our nation's history. There is no doubt about it. However, we are the warriors on the front lines of history. We are the warriors who are helping to bring about a better way. And sometimes that means we got to slog through the mud in order to bring about peace. Those warriors will tell you They weren't in Germany or France or Italy in World War II having, sunshine and lollipops. They were over there fighting to make things better. And so, whatever happens, I want to remind you again and again and again that all things work together for good and that we will be okay. It may not be our, the way we want it to be on November 3rd. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it will still be okay. There will be blessings, there will be light at the end of tunnels, and there will continue to be a cosmic shift as humans are continuing to wake up. Humans are continuing to see the world in a different way. We were moving very strongly into a global society before this current administration pulled that back. But that is the direction that the world is going. And that is the direction that progressive leaders, and I don't mean like, progressive AOC, right and left. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who see the growth and the advancement and the development of humanity. Progressive people who can see further down the road than the people who can only see in front of their nose. Progressive leaders see globalization and a global society because that is where we get to the place of world peace. That is how that works. And that is how we get to understand that there is more for us than just this tangible piece of life. There is something bigger. And so if you are frustrated, if you are scared, if you are stressing out and biting your nails because of the election, I hear you and I get it. And I want you to know you are not alone. But I also want you to remember that all things work together for good. Okay? And that even in the worst of the worst of the worst, because for anybody who has come through a dark night of the soul, you have been through some serious tough times, there will still be blessings. I think a lot about the relationships with different people that I've had who've been really impactful on my life, people who've been really impactful on my life. And well, the majority of them have been men. It seems that in this lifetime for me, my calling is to, or my path is to be nurtured by men and to nurture to women. And okay, because good information and I try not to judge the package it comes in, but at the same time, I think about these people who've been so impactful to me and on my life, and every single relationship has been has had heartbreak to it. Every single relationship has had some element of trauma, of drama, of heartbreak, of betrayal, of manipulation, of pick a negative. But at the same time, there was also love and truth and authenticity in most cases. And the blessings that have come out of these dark places have been unbelievable. And the blessings that have been life changing, that are things that I would never have experienced otherwise, and things that I would never have had my life or my perspective shifted, that would not have allowed me to come to this place where I am right now, if I was not had not gone through all of those things. And so it's not always easy for us to see the light at the end of the tunnel or the silver lining or the blessings when we're in it. When we're slogging through the muck and the mud, it is so hard to see the blessing. Um, Empaths are often preyed upon by narcissists, especially untrained empaths and inexperienced empaths. They don't understand how to protect themselves. They don't know that there's something they need to protect themselves from. And for that was the case for me as well in the early days of my adult empathicness. I didn't understand, and I was targeted by a man that I thought I could trust, a man I had known for a long time who was married to a friend. There was no reason not to trust. We had known each other socially for years, and the kids all knew each other, families all knew each other, blah blah blah. And I didn't understand the net that had been cast over me or the cage I was being backed into until it was too late. There is a TV show, it was very short-lived, called The OA. It's fascinating, fascinating story about life after death, and lots of other things. And the story of this blind woman who is um, coerced by a very, very nice man until you find out that he has taken her away and rescued her, only to lock her in a prison cell in his basement. And it really felt like that because I was so blind and I had no idea that I was being slowly backed into a cave, into a cage. And I know we're all waiting for season 3, right, Victoria? And backed into this cage and didn't realize it until the door slammed. And the look on her face when she suddenly realized that something was very, very wrong gave me such a knot in my stomach because I know that feeling. I know that feeling. And I said, um, and but from that, and coming out of that experience, coming out of that connection, that relationship, just ripped my heart apart, ripped my heart apart, ripped my like aspects of my life apart, just ripped. And the recovery of that took quite a long time for me. And all the time I kept thinking how stupid I was and how foolish and how I should have known better, da, da, da. But in the end, what I came to was thank you. I came to blessing after blessing after blessing that came from that horrible experience. And I don't even call it a horrible experience anymore because it truly was blessing after blessing after blessing. And I know that it just drove him bananas, which was kind of fun to, send him, a text message here and there to be like, I know you meant to hurt me, but here's another blessing. Here's another blessing. Here's how my life is awesome because of what you did. And how empowering that little evil genius piece was, just how empowering it was to take back my control and to take back that piece of my life to be able to say, this is, I'm not going to let you beat me. And these are the things, though you meant them for harm, the universe meant them for blessing. And so as we go forward in these next few days, because, stress is going to get high over the next few days. We've got a full moon coming. We've got the full moon on Halloween. We've got Halloween, and people are stressing about Halloween. We've got 5 planets back in retrograde. Mercury, of course, being the big one. Mercury's going to go direct on election day. We've got the election. We've got daylight savings coming up, but depending on where you live in the world. So there is a lot of stuff that is out there causing the water and the energy to just be like, blah. Okay. And so as you are going through, I want to remind you that you are okay, that all things work together for good. And even if you are going through some trauma and drama right now, then I want you to know, um, divine FU? Yes. Oh, yes, it was. That it is okay. And so I want to share something with you that I just actually shared with another person, and I really felt called to share it with you. Kathy, I see your comment. We will come back around. I will take readings. We do a little bit of conversation. We do cards, and we'll take readings at the end. So I do see that you're there, my love. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will come back to you. Oh, Robin, thanks for explaining. So here's the thing I want to show you today, and this is muscle testing. And it just really felt strong in my heart. And I do want to share that I've got Riley on my desk and Toby in the drawer. So there's like the little white animal convention napping crew going on over here. So we're just going to hope they stay asleep. So kitten and dog. So I want you to take your fingers and go like this, and I want you to lock them together like this, okay? Because when we get stressed out, when we get disconnected from ourself, when we get disconnected from that mind-body connection, we need to have something that will bring us back to self, okay? And so this is muscle testing. There's lots of different ways to do muscle testing. You can work with an energy therapist. You can stand and do lots of, there's lots of different ways to do it. I will often, if I'm standing, I will also do muscle testing and just kind of see which way my body leans. You can have people where they push on your arm. You may have seen some of that. Donna Eden does a lot of that. She's an amazing person with energy healing. I personally like this method because it's quick, it's easy, and it's subtle. I can do it under the desk. Nobody even needs to know. Fantastic, Victoria. So make sure you say if I get anything wrong. But so here's where I go. So I say, I put my hands like this, and because your truest self knows the truth. Your subconscious mind knows the truth. Okay. The part of you that is connected, because it's the ego mind, that's the human mind that gets disconnected. And it's the brain. The brain is the organ, the mind is the part, right? So we want to keep our mind connected to our higher selves, keep our mind connected. And when we get disconnected, it's usually because ego or emotion got in the way. And so we just do this very simple thing. We say, ask yourself a question that you know the answer is true. Like give yourself the answer. So I say to myself, my name is Sherry, and I pull. Well, yeah, of course, my name is Sherry, so I don't break apart. But then if I say to myself, my name is Fred, oh, my name is Fred. I'm not pulling any harder. My name is Fred. My name is not Fred. My subconscious mind knows my name is not Fred. And so there is not truth in that. So my body cannot hold the line. Okay. Ask yourself what is true for you and what is not true for you. And I promise you, I'm not pulling any harder. It's just my mind knows what is true. My brain may be going 90 to nothing, stressing about what's going on. My mind knows the truth. Are we okay? Yeah, we are. Is my family going to be okay? Yeah, we are. Are you okay? Well, some of you are dealing with some stuff, and that is okay. That is okay. Okay, so I want you to try that, and you can do it also. And Robin, I'm telling you, I use it for so many different things. Anytime I am, you know how sometimes we know the difference between what we want to do and what we should do? What do we need to do here? And you can do it under the table, under your coat. Nobody will know. You don't even have to show anybody. You can do it if you're wearing mittens. It's okay. Well, maybe not mittens, but gloves. Thank you. Thank you. Um, but knowing the way to get to the truth of how you feel about things, that is so incredibly important. Allowing yourself a tool to get to the truth of how you feel about things is so powerful. It's so powerful because then it can say, even though I want to do that thing, like I would adopt that puppy that needs a home. Should I adopt that puppy? No, no. We've got 3 dogs and 2 cats and 2 kids. Do I need to adopt a puppy? No, as much as I may want to. So it allows us to get to a place where we can really know the truth of what's going on inside of us. And it makes a huge, huge difference. So use it for nutrition, allergy. Yeah, muscle testing is tremendous. And you can also do it when you're standing. You stand with your feet hip distance apart, so you're standing very straight. And then you ask yourself, had a yes or no question. And I would say like a pendulum, if you've never worked with a pendulum. I keep this little dude out on my desk. So if you work with a pendulum and you ask, show me a yes, and the pendulum will start to move in a certain way. And then like that. And you say, show me a no, and the pendulum starts to move in a different direction. Okay. And your body is a pendulum. Okay. Your body is a pendulum. And so you can stand there and you can say, do I want to do this? And you will find yourself subconsciously, like not intent, like just totally unawarely moving in some kind of way. And it's an amazing, amazing thing because your body knows the truth. So I want to reiterate whatever is going on with the politics and the judiciary and the environment and the election and the virus and. Are we okay? We are. We're going to be okay. Okay. All right. So, cards. Are we ready? I need to know which goddess is with us because she is speaking some powerful words through me today. I feel like I have none of this was what I thought I was going to talk about today. None of this was what I had planned to talk about. That's okay because I've learned enough to know that it's not really a thing to plan what I'm going to talk about with you because they're going to have words come out of my mouth of what they decide that you all need to hear. So I let that go and I trust. So we have our goddess today is Danu. Danu, the goddess Danu. And I like her very much because she Danu is the goddess of assurance. Assurance. She is number 10. I forgot my glasses again. She is the goddess of assurance. I'm telling you, you literally cannot make this up. Danu is, oh, The Celtic earth goddess Danu, who gave birth to magic, portends the fulfillment of your desires and the fruition of your dreams. Whatever it is that you're inquiring about, Danu gives her assurance that you are in the process of becoming. Now is the time to trust that when at whatever you have planned and worked toward is being lovingly birthed. All you need to do is stay with the flow of events and be ready for your next opportunity. Now we talked about staying in the flow last week too. So Danu, the goddess of assurance. Are we okay? We are okay. And we'll grab out our energies deck, see which of our 7 energies we need to be focusing on this week. Pull that out because we have jumper cards. You know how I love to. Oh, we've got a couple jumper cards. Okay, so we're just going to accept them as jumper cards. So this one I know we've seen before, which is Seeing Beyond. We had this, I think, last week with the third eye, Seeing Beyond, and also into the crown chakra, allowing ourselves to see and to feel and to know beyond what is right in front of our nose. And this one is Call of the Muse. Call of the Muse. College. You know what, Robin, is so funny is I have these ones on my desk that I keep for emergencies. They crack me up, and I feel like, okay, I can use them, but then I feel like I look like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. So let's see, the Call of the Muse. She's 31. Thank you for reminding me that I had them on my desk. Call of the Muse. That actually does, that works. Call of the Muse. When you feel the call of the Muse, you're being invited to create, to be the artist, choreographing your own life, serving on behalf of the great artist, the divine source. While the process may feel intensely personal, your ego and self-identification are ironically the most unnecessary parts of the equation. While you might think you own the magic of your creativity, can you truly say that you're the source of inspiration? Similar to the spirit of genius, imagine your creativity stemming from another spirit guide, the muse. Okay, allow yourself to dream. You pinch my nose and then I can't breathe. So allow yourself to dream because I feel like a lot of people are holding that up right now. There's a whole lot of this whole collective breath holding that's going on right now, especially because we're waiting on the next, 10 days for this election. And we are not allowing ourselves to think beyond, and we're not allowing ourselves to dream and to feel into what is possible for you. Don't worry about the other people. What is possible for you? I'm reading this great book on optimism. I can't wait to share it with you. I truly cannot wait to share it with you. Jess Ekstrom, she's the creator of a company called Headbands for Hope. They donate headbands to kids with cancer for everyone that's purchased. And she's written a great book called Chasing the Bright Side. And you know how I love to, when I finish a book, to share quotes with you on the page. And I'm just looking forward to that because I'm almost finished with the book. And one of the things that she talks about is um, we dream for ourselves. We move forward and we chase the bright side for ourselves. Because when we do that, the rest of it will expand, right? Circles on the pond. We've talked so many times about the cavitation of the water droplets in the water, and I drop my pebble in the water and it makes ripples, and you drop your pebble in the water and it makes ripples, and our ripples hit each other and they bounce off and they make more ripples, and they make bigger ripples and more powerful ripples. And so as we are chasing our own bright side and we are following the muse and we are moving ourselves forward, chasing our dreams and creating happiness and love and gratitude, which is the engine of the universe where we raise our vibration up, we are expanding our cavitation, expanding our rings that we are sending out to the other people, expanding by raising our vibration. That naturally will affect the people around us. So the more we chase our own bright side and we follow our own muse, the more we are truly affecting the energy of the universe, of the people around us who need some shift. So the number of people who are holding on to that status quo is shrinking, and the number of people who are waking up to something bigger is growing. You can feel the energy swirling in your head. That is fantastic. And yeah, it's a little crazy over here, Maria, and it's a little crazy. We're getting a little, But we have a lot of people here in this country that are just not. They don't want to play. They've got COVID fatigue, and they don't want to pay any attention to protecting themselves or protecting others. Here in my state, the governor opened the bars, and we are a stage 3 full readiness, full open. All the bars are full of people with masks and cigarettes and all kinds of other things that will assure a slow death of the spirit, if not of the body. So, but people do what they do, and our job is to do what we do to raise our vibration and to stay in the place of love and gratitude, because that is what will affect change. The biggest change in our world comes from love and gratitude. And so we have in our first cards, we have so we have align your life. Align your life. What is not lined up needs what needs to be changed. So where are you not living in a place of love and gratitude? Where are you not following the call of the muse? Where are you not allowing yourself to see beyond what is right in front of your nose? Where are you not leaning into the assurance of the goddess, the great goddess Danu, who is going to assure us that all things work together for good, that she's got us? So, of course, the first card, because the cards don't lie, the first card is aligning our life, allowing ourselves to trust and to lean into spirit, lean into source, lean into the energy of the universe to align our life with what is going to be for our highest and best good. Hello, hello, welcome, 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 welcome. So, Alyssa, as I said to you, as a Kathy before, we will do cards and we will get to messages at the end. So we were very honored that you are here, hanging with us for a few minutes, and we will do some messages. Okay, so next card we have is Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It is happening. Trust that it is happening. And this lines right back up into what we were talking about before, because Lemuria was a utopian society, a time of utopia here on earth, and in the first incarnation of humans. So we are not the first humans. And knowing that Lemuria was this incarnation of utopia, this realization of utopia here, and that we are moving back to that place. Now, it is slow. It is a slow moving ship that takes generations and generations and generations, but we are getting there. And it's so refreshing to see, especially in this country, to see the millennials coming out to vote in droves. They were really an absentee ballot. They were really absent in the 2016 election in this country. And to see the millennials and to see the 20-somethings coming out to vote in droves, because they are the ones that see in a different picture. They are the ones who see in a different way from the way that people in my age group see things, and they are the ones who see this global society and this utopian potential, because they have grown up in an instant gratification, everything is available at their fingertips place where they can see that all things are possible. They don't understand when you say no, you can't do that. Just because that's not the way we're not doing it now, and that's the way it's always been done, doesn't mean that that's the best way to do it. And they see things with a totally different possibility than we do, so than most of us do. So Lemuria is a really fantastic card that reminds us that even when things are looking really challenging and frustrating, which they do right now, that good things are still happening, and that the possibility of something better is truly, truly right around the corner. So I always pick the cards from the top of the deck. And right now I was called to pick from the bottom of the deck that was laying face up on my desk. And this is because the card says boundaries. And then I had to giggle a little when I picked up this card, because right behind it was Star Mother. And we've talked about Star Mother. She's been showing up in almost every week. Star Mother has been showing up because she is the one that reminds us to take self-care. But the card that was right in front of her was boundaries. And this says, where do you need to establish better boundaries? And I love this because I was just talking about the narcissist and the energy vampire that I had this connection with. And so this is really so much about boundaries. And I want to say to you, as we are moving through these next few days, these next weeks, that setting boundaries is going to be so incredibly important, that we have people who are going to be getting more hot under the collar about different issues that are going on, and that if you need to set boundaries with people, it is better to set boundaries so that you can step back, check yourself, and know what it is that you need for your own health and self-preservation, and then be able to move forward in a way that you so choose. Okay. So for myself, for example, I had a relationship, a friendship that was not serving me. It was a friendship that had become abusive, and based in guilt and manipulation. And this is, a girlfriend. And I decided that this was not going to be a good and healthy place for me to stay. And so I asked for some space to be able to clear some energy, release some frustrations, and get some clarity about how to save the relationship and go forward. In that time process, it was decided for me that time should be indefinite and should go for, the relationship should not go forward. And that's okay because it allowed me the clarity to be able to say, when that happened, to be able to say, "Fine, I'm going to make the decision on the stuff that is best for me." So setting those boundaries allows you to be in control of your emotions. It allows you to make decisions based on your heart, based on what's true, right? Not based on emotion or the brain and ego, but making decisions based on what truly is best for you. And I did a lot of this in that time. Do I need to continue this relationship? Do I need to end this relationship? What is the best path for me? Now, granted, you need to use yes and no questions when you're muscle testing, but I used a lot of this. Do I need to, sever these ties? What do I need to do? And so being able to set boundaries for yourself is crucial so that you can make clear decisions for yourself. We don't have to, no relationship should be based in guilt. You are absolutely right, Maria. And people are really, and it's interesting because people are really coming to a place of, if you don't believe what I believe, we can't be friends. And I don't believe in that. And so I have had some people who have a different political viewpoint from mine say, we don't want to talk to you. And that's their choice. And I've had other people who said, you don't have to agree with me. You're respectful and you are intelligent and you treat me well and we don't have to agree. Our friendship is solid. And I appreciate that so very, very much. I had, I made a comment on a friend's post and I immediately sent her a private message and said, if I've overstepped, please just take it down. But we don't need to insult someone or be belittling or be mean to disagree or to agree. And, the fact that we've come to a place where so many people feel like if you don't believe what I believe, we can't be friends. And for me, it's a double-edged sword. I've had people who say, you don't believe what I believe, I don't want to be your friend and be mean about it. And then at the same time, I feel like if you're supporting what's going on over here, you're supporting the things that are hurting people I love. And so while I still love you, it does make me wonder what else may be involved in that, because if you value me and the but we don't have to love everything that the people that we love. I'm going to say that again. We don't have to love everything that the people that we love. Okay, so I don't have to like Brussels sprouts just because my husband likes Brussels sprouts. I just have to not be mean about the fact that he likes Brussels sprouts. I don't actually dislike Brussels sprouts, but that's not the point. Um, we don't have to love everything the people that we love. However, if people are doing something that is harmful to people that you love, then we may need to take another look at that. And so the boundaries card is really, really important. So we don't have to sever friendships with people who don't agree with us, especially in this very hostile political climate. We don't have to sever relationships with people who don't agree with us. But if it becomes belligerent, if it becomes controlling, if it becomes mean, if it becomes guilt-based, or manipulation, or mean or aggressive, then we need to look at that in a different way. But this is a very important time about setting boundaries because, as I said before, no matter where we land on November 4th in the United States, no matter where we land, there's going to be protests, there's going to be legal issues, there's going to be marches, there's going to be people happy, and there's going to be people angry. It doesn't matter who wins in that moment, there will be unrest. And we can guarantee that. You don't need to be a psychic to know that. In this country, no matter what happens, it's going to be a battle at the end. So protecting yourself and allowing yourself to set boundaries that are for your highest and best good, that is very powerful and very important. With differences we grow. That absolutely, absolutely. And some of the most fascinating and interesting conversations I've had, Maria, have been with people who don't agree with me about things. I don't have to be right all the time, but I also don't have to be agreed, to agree, and I don't have to be talked down to, or I don't have to talk down to another person just because we don't agree. Because it is in the middle that we can find communication, that we can find compromise. It is absolutely in the differences in which we grow. So, but love and respect are paramount. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, all of you need to be president. So, all right. So, as a recap, we have our goddess Danu, the goddess of assurance, the goddess that we are okay. Danu has got us, especially this week. Danu has got us as we're moving into the full moon, we're moving into Halloween. We have got assurance with Danu that we are okay. We are being guided to see beyond with our third eye and our crown chakra to allow more in that we can see and absorb more. Do not just see what is right in front of your nose. Allow yourself to see more and allow yourself to hear the call of the muse, to be able to move forward, to really dream and follow your heart. Where are you being called to? What are you being called to do? Allow yourself to pursue your passions, because even in this uncertain climate, you can still pursue your passions and move your own self forward to your goals. Because as we do that, we create those ripples on the pond and we affect those around us and we raise the vibration of everybody together, right? All boats rise together. As the water rises, we all rise, we all float. Okay. So we have then that reaffirmation through our cards of aligning your life, which it goes right with the muse, aligning your life, knowing that you are on the right path. You need to be on the right path. Get yourself on the right path. Figure out what you need to release. Figure out where your blessings are, what needs to bring into your life, what needs to go out of your life. Ask yourself, is this good for me? Do I need to keep this in my life? Yes or no? Okay. And then being cognizant of the fact that all things truly work together for good and that we are creating together. We are creating Lemuria. We are recreating Lemuria. We are moving ourselves to a higher vibration. We are moving ourselves to a higher foundation of society through the generations, through our children. With what's going on today is going to help move society forward. And to know that we must set boundaries for those who would do us harm. We must set boundaries. And you, Ione, may get off of my page. Goodbye. Okay, so my apologies for if we have a spammer in today. So let's go back and start answering some questions. So where were we? We had before Alyssa with my, please forgive me, but I doesn't want to go first to first. So we had, was it Kathy? Kathy, who had messaged in and said, when will my husband and I get back together? When will my husband and I get back together? And let me just scan through here really quick. Awesome. Okay. So when will my husband and I get back together for Kathy? Okay, so what I hear in my head, Kathy, is at least a year. I want to say at least a year, and even then there's no guarantee. So as soon as I looked at your name, what I hear was 1 year. So I want you to, I want to encourage you to be patient. I want to encourage you to follow your own path, because the more that we can create love and respect and joy, oh good, and joy in our own life and not allow our happiness to become dependent on another person, we create stability and backbone and strength in ourselves, which then will attract our proper mate to us. So I feel like there's things that you need to be able to strengthen in yourself. I want to tell you to be patient, because even if he's not the one that comes back, the one that comes is the one that's worthy. When you are doing the work to strengthen self, our happiness cannot be dependent on another person. Our happiness needs to be dependent on us. We must be the ones to say, I am I'm creating my happiness and I am doing my own things that make me happy, and the person that is going to come along is going to align with that. So I want to counsel you patience, because I feel like there's at least a year. My ears are filling up with that, so I feel like the confirmation is there. It's going to be a fair amount of time. So be patient and you do you, and then all things will work itself out. Can I explain more about raising the vibration? Yes. So when you are there's an amazing woman. Her name is Christy Marie Sheldon. She teaches something called Love or Above, and so it talks literally about the energetic vibrations of different emotions. And if you've heard me ever talk about Masaru Emoto and the water experiments of the emotions, the energy of emotion. So the energy of sadness and anger and frustration is a very low vibrational energy. They literally can measure the vibration, like the brain patterns, the vibrations of these different energies and the different emotions. And anger is a very low level emotion. But love and gratitude is a high level emotion. It's a high vibration. And so Christy Marie Sheldon teaches about vibrating at love or above, literally living your life in a place of love and gratitude. Like, why is my life so amazing? How could my life get any better? Asking the universe these kinds of questions. This is, how can my life get better? Because then instead of saying, why does my life suck? And the universe goes, oh, you think your life sucks? Great. Here's more suckage. We say, why is my life so amazing? How could my life get any better? How could my life get any more amazing? Because I love that word how as just such a powerful word with the universe, because it opens the universe's doors to be like, oh, we'll show you how. But you have to be very careful what you're asking for. So the more that you are staying in the vibration of love or above, you raise your vibration, you move yourself into a higher vibration. It is so powerful to be in that place where you can literally manifest so many things because you're vibrating so high. So it has so much to do with our what we're holding in our heart and our spiritual vibration, our energy of where are you operating from? Are you operating from a place of fear or lack or um, you know, devastation or smallness, intimidation? Are you operating from a place of being the intimidator or the manipulator, or grabbing up, greed and grabbing up everything you can for yourself? Is your core of your foundational beliefs? Do you fundamentally believe that there is plenty for everyone, that the universe is an abundant place and there is enough for everyone? There is not a lack. And when we can understand that, money flows to us, things flow, blessings flow, jobs flow. When we understand that there is not a lack, that we stay in that place of love or above, it is truly a scientific energy vibration that we raise our vibration. So when I say love and gratitude are the engines of the universe, I mean it quite literally. So thank you for asking that, Robin, because I, uh, I don't ever want that to go past people, because that is so incredibly powerful to be operating from that place of love or above a higher vibration. So, okay, so we answered Kathy, and then there was somebody else who said, Maria's under stress, and I know that. And there was someone else that asked a question. I want to try and go back because I want to be fair. Okay, so there was Kathy. We answered Kathy. And I want to be fair. And who else asked me a question? And Alyssa, there we are. Would love a spirit message from loved ones. Where do I see your relationship with Jay? Alyssa, and I'm looking over here because I'm looking at your picture, looking at your face. Alyssa, I like this relationship. I feel like there's a good energy balance. I look a lot in relationships. I want to see people be more like this. I don't want to see a relationship be like this or like this. I want to see two folks that are together that are maybe they take turns, but there's not always one on top. There's even. So we have this. I like this relationship, but I feel like that there is I feel like you are pushing for more of a definition or commitment in the relationship. And I want to, again, counsel patience. I want to say to you, just relax and enjoy the ride. I feel like there's not a need for you to pressure the relationship to define itself, rather than allowing the relationship to simply go forward and develop in a natural, organic way. And that it has good potential there, and just allow yourself to enjoy the ride. Don't feel so much like you need to define it. And Alyssa, also feel like there's Yeah, you're in your head a lot. I feel like you're because I feel like I'm squeezing in my head. I feel like Alyssa, I feel like you're in your head a lot. I feel like you're really a thinky person, and I feel like you feel that almost like you need to have this sort of guarantee that everything's going to be okay before you will allow yourself to kind of dive in and really throw your heart into the ring. Probably that there's a hurt from the past that's causing you that hesitation that I really want to know that this is going to be worth my time to dive in before I really put my heart into the ring like that. And I want to encourage you to get out of your head and really allow yourself to just be present in the moment and enjoy the experience because I feel like you build a much stronger relationship that way. So, Alyssa, I hope that is helpful for you. So glad your kids are voting Robin. Yay. No relationship should be in guilt. Differences we grow. Yes. We're moving to the fifth dimension. That is so true, Maria. Feel like someone, Victoria, feeling someone who has passed is trying to connect with you. Can I offer any insight on that? So I want to make sure I'm understanding. Hi, Sarah. I want to make sure I'm understanding the what you're asking me for, Victoria. Do you feel like that it's your someone that's past that's trying to connect with you, or you feel like someone in the spirit world is trying to connect with you? Allowing someone to connect with you from the spirit world, it's important. I go right back to boundaries. It's really important to set boundaries. When I was a young medium and I was starting to work, the spirit world gets very, very excited that you can hear them. And it's almost like you're the beacon of light. And all of a sudden, it truly is like, for me, it was anyway, like the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, when all the spirits realized she could hear them, they all just came in and she was like, overwhelmed. And that's truly what happened for me is that I needed to set some boundaries and say, okay, if you are trying to communicate with me, I will let you know when I'm ready and we will sit down and we will open a door and then you can come in. Because otherwise I had people that were coming in 24/7 and it was really damaging to my health and my sanity and all of that stuff. And so, allowing yourself the opportunity to receive a message from spirit is a beautiful thing. But if it's not what you want, it is okay to say, this is not my thing. Please find somebody else. And the reason that they may be coming through to you, Victoria, is that you may know a person that is of importance to them. So I had a gentleman come through to me for the longest time. I didn't have any idea who the heck he was. And then it turned out that his sister was married to a man I knew. And so I was able to, after we figured it all out, I was able to communicate with the man I knew and say, hey, this is what I'm getting. Now, the person in spirit, the sister, was not interested in any of this stuff. She did not believe in any of this. She was not interested in any of this. And so I could not give her the information because she was not in a place to receive it. And so what I said to the gentleman in spirit, her brother, I said, you need to find a way to bring her to the table. And it took about a year, maybe a little longer, when she and I found each other, that we were both the same gathering, and we had sort of a very preliminary conversation where I mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, you had a brother and all of that, and kind of opened a door, hey, I do this kind of work. And then another probably 6 months later that we found ourselves at a party again where she and I literally sat down and I said, look, this is what's going on and this is what he's saying to me and this is what I would like to convey to you. This is what he would like to convey to you. But it took about a year and a half before he was able to create circumstances that put she and I in a place where one, I could lay the groundwork, and two, we could actually create a dialogue for her to hear what I had to say. Now, what she chose to do with the information after that, whether she took it to heart, whether she, dismissed it, thought I was crazy, don't know. That's not my job. That's not my, not my circus, not my monkeys. But I was able to help him and be able to create that opening that he had asked for. And so he had come through because he knew I knew someone that knew her. Okay, so Victoria, if that is, where you are, that may be the situation. But again, you have control. Okay, and this is the thing that people don't understand. You have control when the spirit comes through to you. If you do not want to receive the information and you do not want to be a conduit to that spirit, you can say no thank you and they will leave you in peace. Okay, and if they don't leave you in peace, then you may need to say it a little stronger, but it may be that they're looking for someone that you know. You are so welcome, Robin. Hi, Sarah Marshall. And okay, so Victoria is someone who's close to you. So I have given you a whole bunch of information that is now not relevant. So, all right, we'll come back to that in a minute. So Maria, I'm going to pick a card for you. Yes, I will. I will pick a card for you. And I'm going to use these, the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle cards that I absolutely love. So those are some of the cards we have been, oh, a jumper. Look at that. So Council of Light, divine orchestrations, helpers in the subtle realm. So, Maria, this is really still what we have been talking about of trusting that there is higher guidance at work and allowing that that things are unfolding, even though right now you're in the swampy part. So we get into the swampy part where we've got to kind of slog through the mud and just really like we got to get it out. We just got to get in there. And oh, by Instagram. Um, and sorry, Instagram only lets you go to an hour. So that we slog through the muddy part, we slog through the swampy part to get to the good part, but you got to keep going along to the swampy part. So Maria, this is why you're under pressure, because you're in the swampy part, but it will be better. It will be better. And I want to say to you, I want to see you 3 or 4 months, my love, 3 or 4 months, because I know you've been in the swampy part for a while. And I want to say to you like 3 or 4 months. And when we get around to, there's an important anniversary. Where is that? Somewhere in, I want to say the beginning part of next year, February. There's some like a significant anniversary marker in February, something. And I feel like something is significant in February. And then there's going to be the shift. So allow that you are still in the swampy part right now, but it's going to shift and that you are okay. Okay. You are, and I feel your strength. I feel the strength of what is with you. I feel the strength of he that is with you, your husband. And I want you to know that you are okay. And the swampy part will not last forever. Okay. Sarah Marshall, yes. So can you get a reading? Can we get a card for Sarah Marshall? Yes, yes, yes. And then we're going to go back to Victoria. And then we're gonna, oh, we're over an hour already, so we're gonna have to finish up. So Victoria, I want you to know that what I feel for Victoria, I feel is there's a male energy that's with you, and it is filled with love. Now there's also a smell around this gentleman. I just want to say like grandfather, father. I feel like, oh, so close. Very okay. So thank you for that, Maria. So Victoria, I feel like in like cigarette smoke, but it's like a specific kind of cigarette. There's some kind of smell that's associated with this gentleman. Like I said, I feel like grandfather or father, somebody who was a man that was, and I feel cuddly. I feel cuddly about this. And I just want to know you. You to know that there's a lot of love and there's a lot of pride in there because, and I'm feeling, they're showing me strength. They're showing me your strength and that they're with you. And it's not just him. There's several that are back there that are with you and that there is there's a lot of pride about how strong you are even when you don't think that you are. And so I want to just let you know that this is a very cursory, I don't generally do a lot of mediumship on this because it's hard to do mediumship in a lightning round, but I do feel this. And so and I do smell this, and it's not pipe smoke. It's not, maybe it's cigars, but it's a specific kind of smoking something tobacco-y. But it's like a specific scent that's associated with this person. But again, it's just love and pride, and again, snuggles. I feel like this is someone that like that you as a smaller girl would hug into and kind of get wrapped up in there. Okay, last thing, because we're over the time, but I always want to finish where we are. Sarah Marshall, welcome to us, to our community of light. And you probably pulled a card and literally jumped out at me, warrior woman. So I'm not sure what's going on with you, Sarah Marshall, but I want to tell you that you have an inner badass and an inner warrior woman. I want you to release her. I want you to trust her because I feel like you've got really great instincts, but then you second guess yourself. And so I really want you to allow yourself to let your inner warrior woman shine through because your instincts are right on the money. Okay. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you so much for everyone who joined us today, whether it was on Instagram or Facebook. I want to say thank you so much for being with us. If you like this video, please share me with your friends. We are so close to 750 people in our community of light, which means another free reading to give away. I'm so excited to be able to do that. And on Wednesdays, please join us on Wednesdays right here, 7 o'clock, when we do meditation. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. I really do go back and read through them all. And I wish you all such a wonderful, peace, safe, healthy, calm, high vibrational lover above week as you go forward. And I can't wait to be back with you next week. We'll try and come live again before the week is out. But have a great week and just know how very much you are loved.